I'm on the move, I got questions to answer, and you're coming with me. Let's go. What's up everybody, Anthony Saratelli here of Jersey Filmmaker, and as I said, I'm on the go today, and I was actually going to post up my camera in the car and do the opening as I drove, but I just didn't feel safe about that, so I'm at my first location, which is getting a haircut because I haven't had time to do so, or shave obviously, but let me go get that done, and I'll be right back. And I'm back, feeling fresh, but not so clean. I got little hairs everywhere, so I need to make one more stop before we get into anything else, so give me a second. Hey, can I use your shower?
Yeah.
All right, I'm all cleaned up now, feeling good. I got a nice little lunch with my grandfather, so let me tell you what's been going on. I feel terrible that I haven't gotten an episode out in like a week and a half, but I've had so much to do, so many shoots, so many edits. If you follow me closely, you know that I'm editing a feature-length film, which definitely takes up all of my downtime, which I usually put towards the channel. The ranking of my priorities is definitely number one, family, number two, paid work, and unfortunately third, this channel, so it's suffered just a little bit because those other two things have taken up all of my time. But just wanted to let you know that the gap between episodes does not mean I'm stopping or slowing down. It's just in the moment, so hang with me. March is gonna be tough, but come April again, I will be getting back on track. So now that you know what's going on, let's start answering some questions. Oric.official on Instagram asks, do you prefer using the FS5 or the FS7? The FS7 for sure, for so many reasons, mainly the bit depth, color sampling, hypergamma options. I'm gonna do an episode on exactly this topic, so I don't wanna give away everything, so stay tuned for that, but definitely the FS7. Next up is Jeffrey Hong on YouTube, and he said, hey man, I think your content is awesome. Maybe even seeing a desk setup explained would be inspirational as well. Interested in how you utilize 2 IMAX and 3 keyboards, ha ha ha. First of all, Jeffrey Hong, thank you. I'm glad you like my content. And secondly, I do use 2 IMAX and I do have 3 keyboards, and I get asked this a lot. I will also do an episode on this when I get a chance, but to answer your question, the reason I have 2 is because I use one of them as a monitor. It's just too old and slow to use in general. So instead of throwing it out, I made it a second monitor. The next thing I got is also up YouTube, and MonsterCam says this channel should have 1 million subs. I concur. Along the same lines, a little while back, C Recipe on YouTube said, how do you only have 500 subs? I expected to look and see 500 and a K beside it. I don't know the answer to this question, C Recipe, but let's go ask an expert. Excuse me, why don't I have 500,000 subscribers? That's what I thought too. All right, 2 stops down, and that little kid or kids, my niece and nephew, are the reason why I've also been so busy this week. My sister had her second baby. I'm an uncle again, very excited about that, so had to stop by to say hi and give them kisses. All right, 4th stop of the day, technically, I guess, with my haircut, and Hector Conti on Instagram sent me a direct message and said, just wanted to ask if you're happy with your Raven and would you recommend it? Yes, Hector, I would very much recommend the Raven. It is an unbelievable camera, especially for the price point in the Red family. It has a lot of the it has all the raw capabilities. It's a great camera to start with, especially if you're just getting into Reds. Yes, 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 love the Raven. This stop was to pick up, you might remember this guy. He was throwing the ducks up in the Raven slow motion video. He's gonna join me for the rest of the episode because we're gonna head out and get some food and drink, meet up with some other high school buddies that we don't get to do a lot with, so he's along for the ride. All right, so now that I got Neil with me, I can answer some questions since I got him driving. And the next question is from Indubio Prone Grow on YouTube, referring to one of my Raven videos, says, good stuff, though should have checked also low light capabilities because, for example, most music video work is low light and there should be some significant differences. That's a great point, Indubio Prone Grow. What do you think, Neil?
Just turn the lights on.
So Neil says just turn the lights on, which is a really good tip, but that's not how it works. The low light capabilities of this camera are okay. It's not like an A7S II. You're not gonna be able to crank the ISO and get a bright enough or exposed image. It's gonna get really grainy, but the shadow quality is definitely still very good. So even if you're shooting something in low light and you wanna get that low lit look, it will look good, but it's, again, no A7S II. The next question is from the Blez. He sent me a direct message on Instagram and says, what's the best lens you can use for an A7? Let's go back to our expert, Neil.
I would say a thick lens.
I'm not quite sure what he means by a thick lens, but what I think he's trying to say is there is no best lens for any camera. It really depends what the project entails. If you need a nostalgic look, you can use a vintage lens. If you're vlogging, you want to use the widest lens you can possibly find. Sometimes you need a zoom lens, sometimes you need a cine lens so you can be more specific with your iris. There's really no way to answer that question. There's lots of lenses that are good, there's lots of lenses that are bad. You just gotta figure out what's the best lens for that project. We're almost to our destination to catch up with our buddies, so I got one more question for you, and it's from Martin Weirin on Instagram. He also sent me a direct message. He asks, do you work with the FS7 for broadcast and TV work? I'm reluctant to do this, but we'll ask one more time since he's here. Neil?
Yes, of course. The ergonomics and the internal capabilities of the camera make for a quick and easy turnaround.
What? So Neil's absolutely right. The ergonomics, the way you can carry the camera, put it on your shoulder, put it on a rig, makes it super easy to move around and get things quickly. And the internal capabilities, such as the internal NDs and the XLR inputs, make it easy to make exposure adjustments when you're going inside to outside. XLR inputs save you time in syncing in post. And there's a bunch of other things, but overall, yes, the FS7 is my go-to for TV and broadcast work. All right, so we've reached our destination, so I'm gonna stop right now. Big thanks to Neil for helping out. Got one more question for you, but I'm gonna do that from home, so I'll see you in a little bit. All right, back at home. I had a great time with my buddies last night, but I wanna finish up this episode. So the last question is another direct message I got on Instagram from Metropolis with a 3. Hey man, I've been following your work and account for some time now, and I gotta say you are living a life I want to work towards. Do you have any advice for a guy who isn't a beginner filmmaker but is making moves to turn my part-time job into a full-time thing? The best piece of advice I like to give when talking to people about making filmmaking a full-time gig and trying to make more money so that you can support yourself is to network. I'd say about 90% of the work I get is from someone I know or knew or met or somehow connected with over the years. That doesn't even mean that I met them during my filmmaking career. This goes back to relationships I've established throughout my life. So it's either a job for the person that I know, or it's a job for someone that they know needs work and they pass it along to me. But you never know where your next opportunity is gonna come from, so get out there, talk to people, be nice, be professional, get to know them, stay in contact. You can go to conferences, you can go to events, you can go to meetups. There's all kinds of things out there where filmmaking people are getting together. And slowly but surely, I promise you, one thing will lead to another and work will just continue to build and you'll become a full-time filmmaker. And that's all I've got for today. This is the first time that I've answered questions in an episode as opposed to just replying online. I think I'm gonna call it Q&A day. So if you liked Q&A day, please hook it up and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, click that little bell so you can get alerts to all future episodes. Go ahead and leave more questions below so that I can answer them on another Q&A day, or of course you can reach me on any of my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, at Jersey Filmmaker. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, please remember to get out there, don't wait, go create, and I'll see you next time.
Say Jersey
Chichi
Filmmaker.
Maker.
Very good, dude.
Very good. What are you doing?